Good morning, everybody. Thank you very much for just jumping on with Recurve this morning. What a fun way to start off morning to talk about our talk about some exciting updates to our market tools for our BayREN business FLEXmarket. I think almost everyone here knows me. I'm James. I'm the Director of Aggregate Engagement here at Recurve. Probably have worked with every one of you at some point, and I will lead you guys through some of our new tools, specifically focusing on our project value estimator, as well as our data sufficiency check. That's a mouthful. So quick agenda. We're going to go through what can you expect, and then we'll do a deeper dive on both the project value estimator as well as the data sufficiency. We'll reserve time for Q&A. We have folks, we do have folks from our engineering team on the line with us, and they are able to help you answer any questions related to your access. So I would take this time today to make sure you guys walk away from this training session and make sure you're able to access our new tools. So if there's any questions you may have, you can do it via Slack and via the Zoom chat, and they'll be happy to help you. So without further ado, we'll jump right in. So first of all, what to expect. What is changing? We are changing today our project value estimator and the data sufficiency checker for the BayREN program. What is not changing are the reservation and enrollment process flow, as well as how do you submit documents into the program. We're also not changing today how you access your fleet manager as well as your ledger. That being said, the reservation and enrollment process is changing, and the document submission process as well. We're expected to have that work completed by mid-July. So something excited to look forward to in the middle of our summer. So we'll jump right into our project value estimator. This is our legacy. I'm calling it legacy because we are making the new tool live today. This is our project value estimator tool. Most of you have seen it. This is a web-based, filter-based tool where you are able to, by providing us some answers to these filter questions, information about such as, where is the project? What climate zone is it in? As well as, what are the load shapes that we're working on, right? I'm doing an HVAC project. I'm doing a lighting project. You specify these parameters as well as the energy savings and the EUL for it, and we will compute what the project should be expected to pay based on current program rules, and what an aggregator can expect from a project. For this project, about $6,000. Here's the thing about this tool. It is a web tool. The second you move away from this page, all of this is lost. So currently, most people are taking screenshots of what they enter, so they remember it. If you want to make a tweak, you have to enter the information again to do it. If you want to come back here a week later, you'll have to start over from fresh. Also, because you're only able to do one load shape at a time, so if you are doing a multi-measure project, I'm doing a comprehensive, I'm doing a lighting project, I'm doing an HVAC project, I'm doing a building envelope project, all at the same time, you will have to break your savings up by measure and enter them one at a time, and then manually add up all the values outside to create a final number for your project. All things I think we can all do without and make it easier. That being said, let's jump right into our demo. Our new tool can be accessed via app.recurve.com, and I'm going to go right there. Great. So welcome to our new app. This is the new landing space for all of your projects. Today is only going to show projects that you create in the system right now. When we expect alongside of the launch of the new submission process and the document management system, we'll be able to port in all of your historical projects. Also, this is the landing space for not just your projects within the BayREN program, but in any other FLEXmarket program that you're participating in. So all your projects will be here. We will be adding additional functionalities to show you what program you're participating in, ability to filter and sort these columns in the near future. That being said, let's take a look at our first project. Here is a project that I created for the purpose of this training. And since we're talking about project value estimator, let's jump right into project value estimator. Click on the tab right here. This is our new project value estimator. You are now able to see everything about the project and what the values and how they break down. Not only will you see similar items like our legacy tool on what the aggregator can expect to be paid, we make further clarification so you know based on the rules what you are expecting to be paid upfront if there were any upfront payments available and what the performance payment portion would be. You are able to expand any of these sections to look at the underlying parameters and the variables that went into calculating these numbers. Specifically, here it is. For this project, when the project is expected to complete, what our forecasted savings were, and what our costs and everything else that went into here. If you want to make a change to this project value estimation and said, oh, actually, this doesn't feel right. This feels a little bit light. This feels light. Or actually, this only represents if I only did half the building. What happens if I actually did the whole building? So let's go right back to the project details. We took the process of adding a project and broke it down into a guided format. You're able to add any component of this project at any given time and make a record within the system. So you now have the ability to actually name your project. That's something that we didn't have before. So this is new, and you can now sort your project by their name. You would be able to tell us, well, when is it expected to start and when is it expected to finish? These dates are used for the purpose of calculating your value as well as establishing eligibility. For each project, you're able to, sorry, let me go back for a second. You're able to navigate this space by either clicking next or clicking along one of these radio buttons. Here, you're able to select what program is this project going to be under. Well, it's currently under the BayREN Business FLEXmarket. If you have access to other programs and you're participating in other programs, you're able to click the arrow and bring up any of the other programs that you may be participating in. Based on the program that you select, all of the rules behind will be brought in from that program to calculate the values. Measures. The most important thing about project value estimation is measures. Everything is at the measure level. This new process allows you to break your measures down and add all of your measures, where previously you were only able to add one measure at a time. So we are able to add, oh, this is a lighting and control project, as my name originally said. Here's my lighting project. Here's my forecasted energy savings. I'm not saving anything on gas. I'm leaving at zero. Here's my cost, right? I'm doing a second measure. I'm doing a controls project, right? You don't need to know what the effective useful life is because the system now knows what measure you're picking and it has on the back end on what the accepted effective useful life is. If you want to add more measures, you can easily click the plus button down here and choose another measure and go ahead and add it. You can easily delete it by just clicking delete. It will ask you, warn you and say, are you sure? Yes. So back to what I was saying earlier about wanting to change. Well, I only did half the building. What happened if I did the whole building? Well, if I did the whole building, this thing's gonna be about 25,000 kilowatt hours in savings. I'm gonna make that change right here. As soon as I made that change, the button on the bottom that says save is now lit up. It knows that there's something changed on this page. So I'm able to click here and say save. Now the information is saved in the system. Let's take a look at what project value estimation looks like now. So I'm going to go right back to our project value estimator here. I'm going to click on this button on the upper right-hand corner that says create a new estimate. And now it's going to run. In the background, it's taking all that information you provided, and this is now taking your forecast of savings. It is applying that by measure over the course of the year, and it's bringing all that avoided cost information from the CPUC and all of the effective useful life, and it's calculating everything back to say, hey, if you were to do a lighting project that has a 12-year effective useful life, what is the value worth? There it is. This is the live calculation. It's very quick, it is extremely responsive, and the number that you see here will be the numbers that we will issue on your reservation letters and completion letters as well. So this project went from previously, oh wait, what was the previous amount again? We track every single version, every single time you click on project value estimation, it is here. Now, we are going to maybe making some additional improvements here so that we are able to create different scenarios so that you can label it so you know what each project run was. So for example, earlier, we ran it based on the air condition of 15,000 kilowatt hours. There it is. What did I do under this project? Oh, yes, I see. I said I was doing 18,000 kilowatt hours. Got it. What's my new version? 28,000 kilowatt hours. So all the information that you would need to run your project value estimation and run iterations will be right here. Going back to our project details, since we left off at measures. Beyond the measures, now tell me about your customer. Who is it? You're now able to create customers in our tool. You're able to create, each time you create a customer, that customer will be saved to your record. This way, if you're working with a corporate entity, right, or the owner of a multi-building facility, a multi-building owner, you're able to create them once in the system. And for each customer, you're able to say, create me a whole bunch of sites, location 1, location 2, and 3, and so on. And you're able to select them, meaning if you want to do a project again for them, you're able to quickly pull them up. Earlier, when I said climate zones in our project value estimation, you had to choose what the climate zone was, which meant most people would go onto one of the websites, type in the address, and it'll show you a map and says, this address belongs in climate zone 3. Then you'll come back into our tool and choose climate zone 3, A or B. In this case, just give me the address. Once you have the address, we will do that mapping on the back end and say, hey, this customer in San Jose, based on the zip code, you're in climate zone X. We're also confirming what were the utilities involved. They are a PG&E customer for electric, and they're also a PG&E customer for gas. And we're doing this project in a commercial sector, right? All this can be specified. So this is how you built the project and how you check for project value estimation. I'm going to pause there for a second and go back to so that's our project value estimation. So pivoting here for a quick moment, let's talk about data sufficiency, which is the other biggest question. I now know my project is worth something, but how do I know if my project is actually eligible in the program? Our legacy data sufficiency tool is a web-based, filter-based tool. You use this tool by telling it what the IDs are. You're only able to check a pair, right? One gas, one electric ID at any given time. You get the results, you can take a screenshot, but the minute you close that tab, this information's gone. And our new tool fixes this. So let's go right back into our demo. So I'm going to bring that project back up. And the part that I left off on was the last step, which is meters. Eligibility within a performance program, a meter-based program, is at the meter level. Welcome to the new meter page. Here you can add any meter you have for this facility. This facility has 10 meters. You're welcome to all add 10 of them. You can also then choose which of the 10 meters are going to be participating, or which of the 3 meters you're going to be participating in the program by simply checking off whether or not you want to include them. You now have persistent, what the meter ID number you checked, all right here. Which kind of meter is it? It's an electric meter. And we're using SAID, the service agreement ID. Some of programs will use a different type of ID identifier, and we're able to choose which identifier we're providing. And we will tell you, in this case, this meter is not included, so this one says pending, but this meter is included, and we can see that, oh wait, it says ineligible. Why? If you hover or click on the question mark, a pop-up will come up and it'll tell you, here's why we can't find it, but why this project meter is not eligible. Well, we couldn't find the meter ID number in our database. That's as easy as a sorry. If you can't find the ID number, it's not eligible. Actually, I know why this ID number is ineligible, because, oh, that ID number is wrong. That last digit should have been a 2, not a 1. I just fat fingered it. So let me go ahead and correct it live here. 2. And you can see that save button, again, turned up. I'm going to click on save. This is grayed out, meaning it's accepted as saved and it's currently running it. And you can see also the eligibility status now changed from ineligible to pending. So now you know the system is actually running in the background. So if we give it a couple more seconds, it'll come back with an answer here. Ah, this meter is actually eligible and it has sufficient data. Let's take a look. For every meter, we're able to tell you a few things, starting with, great, we found this meter in our data. Since we found the meter, we also see that we have enough baseline data for this meter to be able to create a model. And based on that model, it's a good fit. We've also checked from a bunch of other programmatic criteria, such as, is it in the right sector? It's industrial, sorry, you're gonna fail on this point, right? Are you working with utilities that's participating in the program? Yes, you are, excellent. We check for other things like solar. We also check for dual enrollment based on the information we're provided by our clients, by our utility partners on what other programs you may have participated in. We check that ID, make sure that you are not dual enrolling in 2 ratepayer funded programs simultaneously. For programs like BayREN, where there is a cap on the size of the customer's consumption, we're going to check your forecast of savings and say, hey, your customer in this case, and says, does this meter meet those criteria? For BayREN, in this case, we say, yes, this customer's meter does not exceed the annual capacity that's restricted by the program for both electric and therm. If there's any reasons, we'll list out all the reasons why it's failing. We are also going to show you a lot of support information because we want to make sure that you have the right meter. In this case, hey, this is the right meter. I am looking at the customer that I'm expecting. I see that this is a commercial customer. I see my model fit is almost 0. This is a really good model fit, right? I see that I have more than 328 days. I have a whole year and I have all the hours. But most important of all, this is saying, while I have a project that is forecasted to start in June of this year, normally we will say your project start date and end date will constitute your blackout period. And 1 year before your start date is our baseline. Since this is happening in the future, and we don't have data by the minute or we don't have that data right now through what day is today, through May 28th, we're going to tell you based on 1 year worth of data from March 31st, 2023 through March 30th, 2024. That is the data we are using to calculate eligibility. So now you know exactly what as the baseline. So all this information is available in here. As you can see earlier, it was a very quick check. This is running live in the back end. And that is our project. That is our data sufficiency check. If you want to add another meter, just like before, like adding a measure, clicking the plus sign, putting another measure. If your measure is ineligible, you can still save. It'll hold on to all your records. Let me just delete that for my sake. Okay. So that concludes our quick training on our new data sufficiency check. But since earlier I said some things are coming, and we have everybody here on this call, it'll be a missed opportunity to give you guys a bit of a sneak peek on some things that we're working on. First of all, document management. This is something near and dear to me. I've gotten many calls from people about, hey, James, I submitted a document on your form online. I don't know if I submitted you the right one. I don't know where it is anymore. Can you open it and tell me what the SAID was? So now I will have to go on the back end, find that record, open the file, in a secure manner, send you back the ID number so that you know, go, oh, yeah, that's the wrong one. Let me correct that. Our new tool is going to allow you to see the documents you uploaded, when you upload it, who uploaded it, and whether or not it's accepted. You can open it and go, oh, that's the wrong file. Make the change right here. So you are now able to self-service all of your document management that you're sending into the project. Also, project enrollment. The intention is once you have given us sufficient information for the project details, you've done your eligibility, you check your project value estimation, everything is done, all your documents are loaded. We're able then to take everything right there without having you to retype anything into a different form. We'll take that project and enroll and submit the project for enrollment. So in this case, we will do one last validation check and say, hey, this project, it's being flagged. You're forecasting, and yes, there is a signage error here, but if we'll say, hey, we see you are forecasting savings that exceeds 50% of the customer's annual baseline. We need to review that. Ah, yes, you are doing a parking lot lighting project. You're going from a 400 watt down to 100. Yes, and that's on a dedicated meter. I can see how that works, and I can accept that as a why this flag is triggered. We will override that flag and let you proceed with the project. Once we override it, this blue submit project button will become available. One click, your project is now submitted for enrollment. Once you've submitted project for enrollment, you'll get a screen that shows, hey, you've successfully submitted your project into the program. Here's some information about it. And if you wanted to request for an extension, you can click it through here. If you want to finalize the project for the final tracking, you can also do it from right here. And once you do the project tracking, you'll get a kind of a small submitted summary. Last but not least, we realized that many of our aggregators want to do a quick snap decision on what is my project? Is it eligible? You may not want to be creating a project name, giving me start date, end date, measures, right? You may not want to build all that information out to just check a meter ID. We are working on a rapid checker tool that's very lightweight. Tell me your customer information. We're able to say, hey, we found a whole bunch of customers. Let's confirm, right? Ah, yes, you choose, that's the customer I want. What program is this customer eligible in? Ah, it is eligible in this program. And right from the screen, you're able to click create a project, right? And we'll bring all that information that we have available and pre-populate a new customer for you, a new project, and let's go from there. All of this stuff up to this point has been about our aggregators, but we also have our utility partners here. So we also have building some tools for our utility partners that allows them to see at a quick snapshot, how does their program look? What is their budget? How much have they used? What's remaining of the budget? So all this information, average project forecast, reservation, what's our current realization rate? Where are we? So all this information is available, and they're able to model and say, what happens if my remaining projects drop out? All this is now a new functionality we're building into our new app. So exciting time now. This app is going to be usable by both our aggregated partners as well as our utility partners. So I think I might have said it earlier. When would all this be available? Yes, I am stealing a little bit from Apple's announcement. It is available today. If you go to our website right now, let me see if I can bring up our website. And you are able to, if you go to Project Value Estimator, we took out the old site to avoid any confusion, and you're able to click right here. You're also able to type in simply app.recurve.com and access it directly. One thing I forgot to say earlier, access. This is using the same access that you have for your current Fleet Manager and Ledger. This is not the same access on our Demand Flex website where you click on My Account. So this is we are centralizing access to Fleet Manager, to your projects, everything under one roof. And that will be, so the same password that you use Okta for verification will be all under the same roof. If you have any problems accessing that today, again, we got our engineers on the line here. We were able to help you reset your password, just send you a new invite. Let us know, and we're happy to help you there. That being said, let me open it up for questions. I am not looking at the chat, so I apologize.
Hello, this is Mike. Can you hear me? Would you like me to chat or ask a question?
Hey,
Hi. Can you talk a little bit about the importance of, there was a step early on in the process where you talked about validating the service point. Can you talk a little bit about what that step is supposed to mean for the aggregators or the programs? Do you do something to validate that the service point? I guess my real question is, do you do something to validate that there aren't other meters at the same service point? Is that what you're doing there?
The service agreement ID number is an identifier that is used per meter, right? So that's not the service point ID number. So the SPID is a different number. So specifically for the purpose of checking eligibility, we're using SAID, which is a one-to-one match to individual meters, right? So you are able to put in that number, right, which is typically coming off of your PG&E bill. It's not the account number in the very beginning. It is, if you go to like page 2 or 3, right, you'll see smaller print that says service agreement ID number. That's the number that you'll use to check eligibility. We are using in the rapid tool that we're developing, it is still under development, but I think the intention there was, if you are giving me a service point ID number, we are saying, hey, we do see multiple projects or multiple meters here or multiple customers, right? To making sure that we're selecting the right customer for your project. It is ultimately the responsibility of the user to verify, saying, here's the meter ID number, here is the utility bill I have physically from the customer. I validate that these are a match, right? The worst case scenario is someone mistype a number in there and saying, hey, I'm gonna measure my entire project performance based on somebody else's meter. That would be a miss there.
Okay, thank you.
Just to piggyback off of that, when James was showing earlier that little like info blurb with all like the green checks or red failures for the eligibility, the very first one where it says maps to a service point, that will actually come back as red and a failure, not only if it can't find a match, but also if it matches to more than one service point. So we are already building that check in there. So if it doesn't match to only 1 meter, it'll be a fail.
Thank you. Thanks for clarifying.
Someone asked a question earlier saying, is the session being recorded? It is, and we'll PDF the notes and make it available to everybody after the meeting.
Good morning, James. I have a question.
Hey, Russ.
Hey, can you go back to the measures tab that you had when you did the demonstration?
Sure.
Great. And I just wanted to verify. I don't see a customer rebate in there. Are we supposed to enter it in?
We
Here?
are. I know you and I talked about this. So we are making some corrections in the back end. Our intention is that in programs where this is not required, we're working on a way to make sure that it's marked out as optional or to actually hide it. So we're still working on that piece. For the purpose of BayREN, this is not required.
It's not required, but I see the measure cost is now required. Okay.
It is required in terms of we're looking to collect the information, but when it's actually it is not used in the calculation of the incentive.
Okay, it's still not used. Great. Thanks for that clarification.
Hello, James. This is Pratap with TRC. Thank you for your presentation, for explaining things to detail. During your presentation, my question is like whether aggregators needs to enter all the details in this the project details tab before clicking on the project value estimator.
They do not. The minimum requirements, ideally, we want you to name your project so you can easily find it later. We purposely designed it so that you can go between any of these sections without having, there is no requirements, right? So there is not like, if you don't fill this field, we won't let you go forward. So we designed it so that we get as much information as possible. So if you're looking for project value estimation, what we really do need is, let me see.
James, if you click like the new project button, you'll see under each individual field what's required for what.
Yeah,
so like here you can see that. Yeah. So you can see this on each tab. It'll show you what's required for eligibility and also what's required for project value estimation.
So like I said earlier, right? Because we are forecasting what the value is based on the avoided cost, right? And avoided cost is time dependent. So that's why we need to know, when do you think you're going to start the project, right? Is it this month, next month, in a year? For the site, actually, let me see if I can just go back. Oh, again, when I clicked on the new, you see that a record is already created for it, right? There is a placeholder for this record. So you can keep the project and start adding as little information as you have, as much information as you have.
Yeah, but if the project meter is ineligible, then it will be, and if you are showing the incentive, that's like aggregator will get the wrong message in that scenario.
Good point. Thank you for that feedback. We'll work. Right now, the workflow is that if the project is not eligible, you cannot actually enroll it, right? Let me go back. So once you get everything here, the enrollment side, once we have, right, this won't let you move forward.
In the last step, okay.
This is not available today, but the intention is, if it's not eligible, you can't move forward. So there is a mechanism in place to prevent you from accidentally trying to sell that project and say, hey, let me reserve that project, even though it is not eligible. We're checking for that. We're checking for these validations beforehand.
Yeah, okay, that's good. One more thing, like when you click on the project estimator, you mentioned that it goes in a pending state and it pulls the value from the CPUC for the avoided grid costs, and those numbers are hourly. Like basically, if you are only putting the project name and the kilowatt hours, you don't have the meter number and all the other details. How you are calculating like hourly savings for that multiplication?
Great question. Forecasting is calculated based on the DER savings load shape, right? And that is a programmatic approach it's using previously used DER savings load shape that's been established, right? We are taking at the measure level. Let me actually use the actual project. We're taking the estimated 25,000 kilowatt hours and using the DER saving load shape associated with a lighting measure. right? We're normalizing that 25,000 kilowatt hours over the course of that 8760, the whole year. And then from there, we're adding in the value. That is how we're able to forecast the savings based on the DRL shape. Again, this is for the purpose of forecasting.
Okay.
What we do actually measure is use the live, using the performance data, right? We're saying, hey, you based on your baseline that we saw, here's the counterfactual that we created for your customer for this project, as if you did nothing, right? And then we'll say, what is that counterfactual compared against the actual observed usage? So for the performance period is always going to be based on actual consumption against the counterfactual, against a model of how you would have used energy based on your baseline. But for the purpose of forecasting, it is using a DRL shape.
Okay, thank you. I think it's better to have like if it is not calculated based on the actual meter, then we should have a note or something under the project value estimator saying that this number might change for aggregators to get an idea about this is not final number. It's basically, as you mentioned earlier, there's a finals submit button. At that stage, they will get the final number, I guess.
Actually, great, because right here we have actually writing about learn more. There is actually a message that says to emphasize that this model is a forecast that is based on your assumption you provided, right? Because this performance program, you must deliver the savings. So the good thing is, well put. We have that as part of our bit of a learn more about it. So
nice.
Yes.
Thanks, James.
Lo, thank you for patiently waiting there.
Hi, James. Thank you for the presentation. This looks nice. I just have a question. Are you rolling this out to other FLEXmarkets today, or is BayREN the first?
We are rolling it out to all of our programs systematically. We are rolling out to BayREN. We have previously rolled out to 2 other programs, but right now BayREN is next, and we'll be rolling out to our other programs on a schedule. It's
Great.
a lot to roll out to everyone in one shot.
Yeah. So related to this screen we're seeing here, the project value estimator. So if I was a contractor, I can simply go to this screen, enter the inputs, and quickly get a value for the project that I plan to sell, right? So that's the point of this. And so when I was able to be successfully convert that lead into a project, this is all saved and it can just feed into my enrollment details.
So I will see if I can make this a little bigger, right? What you saw earlier is project detail,
right?
Value estimator, right? So our intention in our plan, this is actually a screenshot of some of the work that's in development right now. You'll have more and more of the tasks come online, right? So the intention was you go through the workflow, you come to the end of it and saying, great, here's my enrollment. And if everything checks off here at the enrollment piece, it will let you submit a project right from here, right? So none of the information is double entered. You enter it once, and if you want to correct something, you have full access to it. You don't need to submit me a form, an email, nothing. You don't need to resubmit me the project. Just go backwards. Go to click the earlier tab and say, fix it, make the change, and you're ready to go.
And just a quick note on timeline there, that we're planning to release that in about 6 weeks, so mid-July. And for now, projects that are being enrolled currently should continue to use the existing project enrollment and completion forms. So unfortunately, there will be about 6 weeks of double entering information. But after that, we'll import all the projects that have been previously submitted. So you'll be able to see everything that you've ever submitted in that tool.
Great. So essentially what I heard was, and maybe this is not right. Everything that was entered for the program year 2024 recurve, you will on the back end help convert into this new format. Okay.
Yep.
Great. And so then my final question is the project estimator light tool. That's just to quickly, you have some basic information, but maybe not all of it. You can use that light tool to just come up with an estimated incentive
The
amount?
light tool was designed more to check eligibility, right?
Oh, because more eligibility. Okay.
Well, yeah, it's to check eligibility, because oftentimes you're talking to the customer, right? You want to, before you really get deep into the conversation, or before you start really building out all the measures, what the scope might look like,
Yeah.
probably want to check to see, make sure that they're eligible in the program. Do they meet programmatic eligibility, right? Do they meet the data sufficient requirement for a meter program, right? So that tool was designed to kind of not shortcut, but to give you a path to very quickly saying, hey, here's the customer, can I quick check? Yep, thumbs up, it's good, okay, keep going. But we also made it so that even that amount of effort is captured and not lost, right? The fact that you're putting some information about it on our screen, we show that you can click from right there. Our intention is click from right there, says, go add me a project, right? Because it may come back and say, this is good, instead of going, okay, let me exit this tool, go back to click new project. Nope, you click right here, create a project, and we will take all that information, port it right over to your new project, and you are already one step ahead on one step done on your process.
That's great, because it helps your conversion rate too. You'll know how many of these you convert over time. And yeah, okay, this is great. Thanks.
I know we're at time, so if there's no other questions, if you want to double check, make sure you can get access. We got our team here, so if you want to just, we're happy to stick around for a little longer. If you want to send a message on chat, on a Zoom chat, let us know. We're happy to support you and get you access. If not, feel free to take a time. Oh, I did miss one slide. Where is it? Most important, if you need help, shoot us an email, support@recurve.com. We'll keep it very simple. Let us know, hey, I can't get access. Hey, I got access, but I only see this. Let us know, and we'll make sure that you have access to the BayREN program, as well as access to this tool.